So, Guild 2 has a lot of skins, but a lot of them you can just buy with gold, or a lot of the way that you get it is from gold, or just crafting or whatever, and it doesn't really mean a lot. So I wanted to talk about today the top 10 most prestigious and coolest as well greatswords that you have in the game. These greatswords are mainly gonna be weapons that you can only get by playing the game and do require a good amount of effort, but also look pretty awesome and maybe even have some lore behind it. So let's get into it. Number 10. To start with, we're gonna start with the Mistwild Greatsword. It looks pretty cool already, as you can see here. It has this little, purple little particle effect on the edge of this greatsword. It has a little cool little hilt with a little dragon on it, and you can only get it by doing master, so the hardest difficulty of Chaos Fractal in tier 4 fractals. It's not very hard to do, but you do have to actually go and do it in order to get it for yourself. And honestly, that's real. Yeah, sure, for you. For me, maybe it's very easy to get into tier 4, but it does require, especially for a new player, a good amount of investment to getting them. So most people, when they actually get this item, they will feel very accomplished and they will actually care about this item very much. And I think it's a good way of making new players already feel like they're actually progressing and getting something from their gameplay in the game. And as I said before, it looks cool. It's a pretty big greatsword. And I don't know. I always have liked it. And honestly, I should make a set with it, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. Number 9. Yeah, the next one is going to be the Bailg Greatsword, the Assaulted Sparking Vanquisher. Because it looks so cool. And it even starts glowing. Just like the floor in Guardian does. And with the same symbols, you have to actually kill the boss, which is a very cool thing. And essentially signifies that you kill a boss. It may not be the hardest boss ever, and doesn't require you that much of an effort, but I do think it is a good way of telling you that, hey, I killed this boss, look at me, I did it, and it tells your journey, and I think that's very, very, very cool. Number 8. The next one is going to be Dark Harvest. I actually don't possess this one. This is the Elite Spec Greatsword from Reaper. So if you guys don't know, every one of the Elite Specs have a weapon associated with them. In Reaper's case, is Greatsword, and they also have a weapon associated with it and an upgraded version of this weapon. For example, right here, we start with Reaper's Greatsword. This is the one I'm using right now, right? As you can see here. Let me just unsheath it. You can see there, that's what it looks like. But then you can upgrade it into it looking like this. A very cool weapon. As you can see, this one is very, it's just a piece of metal, right? It still looks pretty cool, and honestly, I bet that some people use it like this normally. But this one has a particle effect on it. It has a little gooey little red thing there, very necromantic kind of way. And you have to go in here and get these random items from different places in order to essentially craft and get the item. And you also get an ascended version of it, which is actually very cool. You have to do a good amount. Oh, you also even have to do map completion on Heart of Maguma with a necromancer in order to get this one. So it's actually a good amount of effort in order to get this, which I think is very, very cool. It's almost like an endgame weapon, and I think it's very meaningful for people who really like Reaper. That you're gonna end up with this weapon and you're gonna use it, right? I think it shows that, hey, I like Reaper enough that I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna farm it and show everyone that I'm a Reaper main. I think that's very cool. Number 7. Next one is also gonna be another Elite Specialization one, but from Vindicator. So Vindicator, the Rev Specialization, also has a Greatsword because they use Greatsword, and they get Dichotomy, which is this one here. I also don't have this one actually. And it starts with Vindicator Greatsword. The same idea that you have on the Reaper one, Vindicator Greatsword. There you go. This is how it looks, and it already looks pretty cool, right? As you can see here, it looks pretty cool. It's like this little like this very long blade with this little saw-like features on the other side, and on the non-edge side, you have this little red orb there, and you have this little design on the left side as well. Very cool, very gold, very very shiny, as it's like golden. It's like almost like a samurai greatsword a little bit, but like, I don't know, a bit more thick. And it transforms into dichotomy, trying to symbolize because, I don't know if you guys know, look at that. It actually looks very similar once you have it, but once you unwield it, boom, he has blue and red coming out of it, one from each side, essentially signifying, I think it's pretty much likely, the two alliance stance from Vindicator, the San Victor and Archimedes. Let me see if I can. Alliance stance. I forget the exact name of the guy. Legendary alliance stance. Yeah, they have like essentially two personalities, and that you use this guy, the red guy and the blue guy. And the red guy is called Saint Vic. Is Archemoros from the Luxons, and Saint Victor Suhelzer from the Cursix is the blue guy, right? And they talk to each other, and they're kind of like have different personalities. One is more aggressive, one is more chill, right? One is more wise, one is a more like, warlike or whatever, just like the Luxons versus the Cursix. And they signify it with a dichotomy, right? With this little red side and the blue side. So very big lore weapon. It works pretty well. It looks pretty awesome as well. Sadly, it doesn't have a particle effect like a trail, like a legendary would, but it still looks pretty awesome. And the only problem I may have with this is that it kind of doesn't go that well with. Oh, I guess it does go well in Vindicator because, sure, Rev is black and white, but Vindicator with Greatsword is blue and red. So it actually does well pretty good with the abilities that you use on here. So, no, actually, you know what? I forget what I said. I think it works pretty well for Rev as well. I think it's a very good weapon, a very thematic weapon, and I think they did a very good job. And of course, as the previous one, you do have to do a collection to get it in the first place. Have to do a good amount of stuff. You even have to do a map completion, and some metas you have to do Drawn Ascent with Revenant as well. I think you have to do that, right? I must have done it already. Yeah, as Vindicator, complete the end of round storyline you can choose between the storyline or the jet battle for the JHC meta event. So pretty good amount of stuff, which I think is very very cool. Very very cool. Good effort to get it. Signifies a lot. There you go. Number 6. The next one is going to be Eclipse, which I do possess. It took me a while to get, but it's a weapon that not only people know about, but it's this one. It looks pretty cool, as you can see. It's like an eclipse, like, it shows all of the stages of an eclipse, from start to whenever it happens to finish, when it's gone back again. And it's actually, I don't know if you know this, it's from a contest that they did back in the day, where fans would essentially make their own weapons, and the one that would get voted to the top 3 or something, I think, would become actual weapons in the game. And this is one of the ones that won. And there's other ones that we'll probably talk about eventually, but this is one of the ones that won, and it's for a reason, because it looks very very cool. Here's Eclipse. As you can see here, the little ribbons spin around when you're using the Mesmer sword. It looks actually awesome as well. Absolutely great animation, and a good testament on how different skins might look very different in different classes. Very cool. And this weapon, you get it from a collection that is a very cool one, and they made essentially a bit of a story for this weapon, a bit of lore for it, even though it doesn't really exist, to tell this tale about how the person who made this weapon, or didn't finish it, and died on the hands of the Char, but essentially has to accept the fact that now Char are actually allies from us, and it needs to end their greatsword to defend other people, and protect peace or whatever. It's a very cool little story, and I would definitely recommend you to do it and listen to what they have to say. You can definitely use the wiki to know where to go, but it's a very very cool story, and I actually recommend it a lot. And it's a cool weapon, so might as well get it from him. Number 5. Next one is going to be Strength of the Unseen, the weapon that you get from Secretly Obscure, This weapon is absolutely great. Look at that. Look how it looks. Oh my god. And you know what? Not only it looks great and badass, When you sheath it, oh, it disappears. Then you unsheath it, boom, it appears again. Isn't that awesome? It's actually great. I think it's awesome, right? It looks so, and look at the little effect that it has as well. Oh my god, it's so fucking badass. And it has a very cool collection to it as well, with a lot of lore. With a lot of lore about Mabon, about what's happening with the Cryptus and with the Wizard's Tower. Is very, very, very interesting, and I would recommend you to do it, especially because we're gonna get more information about what's gonna happen later with the next patch or whatever. So I really, really recommend you. It does take you a while, and it has a lot of cool story bits, good voice acting, cool little things that you have to do. So I very much recommend it, and I think it signifies that you do play the game, you play the new expansion, and getting skins that you get from the expansion, I think is very, very, very cool. Number 4. Next one is gonna be Frosta. Frosta, it's a weapon that you can only get by essentially grinding Dragonstorm, the meta event. It's the same weapon that Violent Steelcatcher uses. Spoiler warning, this is the same weapon that Violent Steelcatcher uses here once he gets corrupted, right? Because normally you would use this normal version of it, and then he gets corrupted, and then with Jormag, right? And then he uses his weapon, right? Which is actually very cool, Oh my god, and look at the sound. Look, just listen. Look at that. Let me put more volume on it so you can really listen to it. Like, that's cool. That's a very cool sound to it. And look at the little flames that come out of there. It's like ice flames somehow, and the little like icy effect on it as well. Like, this is a great sword. It looks awesome. It is very hard to get. Now, some people, you can get lucky, of course, and get like the first time. But like, it took me like over a year to get this item. So it definitely not only signifies a lot to me, but I think a lot to a lot of people that do have it in the first place. So yeah, it's a great sword. It looks awesome. It signifies a lot in the lore, and it's hard to get. So pretty prestigious. Honorable mentions. Now, before we go into the top 3, I want to talk about honorable mentions. A few of them would be Cattlebog. Cattlebog is a very cool weapon that Traherne used to have, but honestly, I never really care that much about that weapon. I think it doesn't look that good, and there's a full set of them, so it's like, I don't really care that much. And yeah, I didn't find the collection that much fun either. Eternity as well. It absolutely looks awesome. I mean, it's great. It's twilight and sunrise merged together, right? Like how cool can you get? Like, essentially, when it's night, it's this, right? But when it's day, it's this one. Like, that's just absolutely fucking awesome, right? And he has, it's a legendary, so you have the food trails as well and the trails as well. But the issue is that you can just buy those in the gem. You can just buy those with gold, and you can purchase gold with real money, and then you just buy this. So it takes away a lot of the prestige from it in the first place, which I don't really like. Number 3. Top 3 is gonna have to go to Final Death from Doom. This weapon, you can only get it by killing Doom and then getting lucky, or buying them with magnetite shards. It looks awesome. It is a very cool weapon that you obviously it represents the death that Doom in himself represents. It has a little skulls in it, very edgy. The colors are nice. The details on the weapon are nice. It just looks great, and I think it's very cool to show, like, hey guys, not only have killed Doom, but I killed it a few times. Okay, it's not like I just bought it. Okay, I killed it a few times. Okay, like, I know. Okay, I know how to fight. I mean, not it. You definitely can buy it a lot of times, or get carried or whatever. But hey, if you're using this, I think it's okay to say, hey, and be proud that, hey, I killed Doom, and I'm showing you that I did, and I think that's very cool. Number 2. Second one is gonna have to be the Etherized Greatsword from Ola and Scorch. it looks awesome. And not only looks awesome, you can actually change the color by right now it's red, it's green, like the green version, and it even has a trail. Look at that. It even has a little trail, like a little smoke. You can actually change it to red version by putting gloves of ectoplasm, static assault, night core, and some hydrochloric reagents from research notes. You can change it to blue as well by putting this in the Mystic Forge, which is such a cool thing, representing each of the bosses that you kill in all unscored. The only way to get this weapon is by doing all unscored at once, and then continuing and buying this from Sassy, or just get lucky, I guess, from Sassy for 30 gold and 500 blue spirit shards. Absolutely great item. I think it's, it signifies that you did the boss, and honestly that boss is kind of difficult, so I'm not gonna say it's not a piece of cake. It's not at all. So it signifies something very, very cool. Number 1. And for top number 1, it's gonna have to go to Exordium, because Exordium, it's a legendary weapon. And legendaries do look cool. And not only they look cool, you have to do a good amount of grinding to get them. Not only you need the gold that you can skip, okay, by buying gold with real money. You could do that. But you still need some other currencies from meta events from HOT or Path of Fire, I guess. You do need to, or you could have to do the map completion from Path of Fire or from HOT, and you need to essentially craft it as well. You need the spirit shards, you need a lot of currencies. So and it signifies something that you did yourself. And when people see it, when people see a Gen 2 like Exordium, they're gonna know that you actually got this item by yourself. You did grind for it, and that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. And of course, it also looks awesome. Look at the colors. Not everyone's gonna be fan of these colors, but I think they're very cool. They're very neat. And not only that, the animations are also very cool. As you can see here, you're gonna unsheath it. Boom! That's pretty cool. You're gonna spin. It's gonna become an axe. It depends on each of the classes. Each class, it changes a little bit how it looks, and that's pretty awesome. If you jump, it also becomes a little axe. If you do this, it becomes a little soy thing. Here, as you can see, guys, we have the Exordium with Mesmer. It's a little gun. It's pretty cool. And you have the trails, you have if you start attacking, you have this little like particle effect, like almost like lava going out around the place. It's honestly a great weapon. It looks awesome, and it's very prestigious. I think everyone would agree with that. If you run around with this item, showing it to other people, they're all gonna be impressed, which is probably what you want if you're using a greatsword. If you're using a weapon like this in the first place, you want to show off. You want to see like, hey guys, look at what I did. I did it. Are you proud of me? I am. Okay, I am proud of myself. And I think that's pretty cool. Tell me if you agree with my decisions. Tell me if I missed any of the weapons that you might actually consider more important. I will also do weapon set tier list top 10, where I essentially discuss which are the weapon sets, the not unique weapons like this ones that are the most prestigious and cool. So subscribe to the channel. If you can support me in the description with, on my Patreon, on my PayPal, or anything if you want. So subscribe to my channel on Twitch as well. And see you guys around. Love you all. Bye-bye.